Investing in Zimbabwe is a fantastic idea, but sometimes it's difficult to find out where these opportunities are. So, in this video, I'm going to be talking to the mayor of Nyanga to explore the opportunities and how we can tap into the investment opportunities in Zimbabwe. Good morning, Mayor. Thank you for taking your time to meet with me. I know you have a very busy schedule, and I really appreciate you taking your time out to speak to the diaspora community.
Thanks, Augustine. It's good to be on this platform. My name is Mayor or Chairperson, Councillor Advocate Fungai Chimwamurombe from Nyanga Road District Council.
So, in your own words, can you tell us certain areas that are lucrative for us to invest in?
Okay, Nyanga is a very exciting place, I must tell you. I think most of people in Zimbabwe are really happy to visit Nyanga because of its obviously geographical location, its weather, and obviously the surrounding excitements that or activities that excites tourists that side Nyanga. So if you look at Nyanga, obviously, we have other areas of investment that are there, which is agriculture, mining, but broadly, we want to speak about Nyanga as a tourist town, Nyanga as a tourist destination, an area which people can really come and invest their incomes or their investments.
So, what would you say are the key tourist attractions if we were to invest in there? What are the sort of like key tourist attractions and areas of potential growth?
Okay, Nyanga, as you know, we have Nyangani Mountain, which is the highest point in Zimbabwe. You also have our own national park, which have some animals and also actually some waterfalls, and we talk about the museum, Rose Museum in the national park. But now, outside the Nyanga National Parks and the Nyangani Mountain, we have areas where you can now interface with the weather. We look at areas like Trotbeck, where we've got nice hotels around the lodges, around the Trotbeck, Girasdale side as well. And we look at also activities that are coming up now. We've got farming tourism. People get to interact with how apples, as you know, we are the greatest area where apples are farmed. They interface with the farms and the peaches as well. We with the flowers. We also have the trout fish. Trout fish, as you know, is largely farmed in Nyanga. We also have that area where you can interface with how the process is done and stuff like that. You also get to see that we now have activities around our main falls, waterfalls. We've Mtaras waterfalls, we've got Nyangombe waterfalls. In as much as there's a little happening at Nyangombe, but we would want people to come now and then construct a fantastic restaurant. We look at some lodges around as well, and we also corroborate the activities happening at Mtaras, which is largely the skywalk. We have got the zip lines, which is also now dotted around Nyanga. If you come to Trotbeck side, such activities are also happening. So I would say areas of potential investment for those who want to come to Nyanga are around the accommodation, which means holiday homes, lodges, the hotels, and in particular, right now, I've been talking to people, encouraging them to look at the opportunity of constructing a beautiful conference center. You know what, Augustine? We are very close to Harare, the capital city of Zimbabwe. Our roads are largely good. Come to Nyanga. We are looking at also the beautiful weather. Nyanga, I must tell you, this is a place where we can find all the six climatic regions, region 1, region 2, up to region 6. So there is the variation of the weather in the parts of Nyanga, and people would love that. But now you see many conferences are happening outside Nyanga because we don't have a facility that can accommodate a huge amount of people. People coming for national addresses, people coming for festivals. We cannot house them in Nyanga. So there's a great opportunity for someone to come and build a 1,000 to 5,000 seater conference center. So that's what we are expecting people to come. We also have, well, I've spoken about skywalks and zip lines, but we have got big mountains, which we can also do more, the cab trains or something like that, where people can enjoy and interface with the beautiful mountainous place of Nyanga. We don't have people with helicopters that can obviously give that service where we can have the aerial view of Nyanga, looking at the falls. I think it would be very beautiful, looking at the
Mhm.
falls, looking at the high terrains and stuff like that. So apart from the physical infrastructure that can be put, like I've indicated, there are also these activities which people can think and then come and do the investment in
Mhm.
Nyanga. But I understand you've got a very huge diasporan audience. I must indicate that we have quite a lot of potential as far as having modern, smart, homes which can be used for A and B when people are not around. When people are around, or the family or the owners are around, they can have or use them as haunted homes. You need a setup where when you are in Zimbabwe for your holidays, you are really enjoying yourselves. And when you are no longer in Zimbabwe, you've gone back to work, you can actually still earn some incomes from these homes. Or when you now retire and want to come back to Zim, there is that opportunity again for you to already have a house which is suits a retirement package, free from stress, free from polluted air, enjoying nice water from our mountains, and there you go. So these are some of the things that I think, in terms of the real estate bit, you can do. But also, as a growing town, we are also looking at some infrastructures that we don't have. We are looking at people who can bring a mall, where you can actually now have, when we talk about Nyanga, with the majority of people coming from outside our town. So we need those facilities where people can have a nice mall, which can house some fast food outlets, some services like banking, where people can easily withdraw their money and they pay, when they go out to do quad biking and other activities, they will need some cash. So I'm thinking of a very nice mall. So they would want those shops where they can easily buy, those fresh produces, and buying some things like polony, for example, things like bacon. I remember one friend of mine from Australia who came and said, "I want to host some people coming to Nyanga. Where can I buy a nice meat for me to have a barbecue?" It was something else. But anyway, my point is, we want such a mall that can house our tourists, and I believe we can invest in that area.
You mentioned holiday homes. This has really got me very, very excited. So, with these holiday homes, how difficult is it to get the land, first of all? And what is the process? How long does it take?
Well, Nyanga is really open for investors, I must say. And during my tenure, we always want to ensure that we are able to provide ease of doing business in our town. I would say that when you look at things like land, the normal process is the application. You apply that you want land, you give your proposal of what you want to do, and everything is on paper. We then present the papers, obviously, to the committee that deals with the tourism, and also the committee that deals with, depending on the area that you want to apply for. I think I will explain to you areas where we need to look at, but the process goes through a committee in council and then is confirmed by the full council. So it's a very simple process. What needs to be done is people must be ready to make the necessary steps and prove that they've got the ability or the capabilities to do what they want to do. Then, more importantly, I must also indicate that today, as I speak to you, the council has put on tender a holiday. What can I say? It's a hotel stand, which is those who know Nyanga is by Todbeck 10 off. So there is already a 3,000 so a 3 hectare plot that is available for those who would want to purchase. And then we also have a place in the area so called John Gout, where we also have a stand there under Nyangara DC. But to be honest with you, who are we to refuse investment in our town? If someone say, I have the dollar, I have the money here, what can I do? We create, or we are able to organize as a council ourselves, and then start to obviously implement all the necessary regulation to make sure people can come invest. Properties or stands are available depending with what you wanted to put up in Yanga. But as I was saying, telling you that you may also need to look at the areas that are very, I would say, are best considered holiday homes and also maybe for hotel. We look at the other part of Nyanga town. Those who know Nyanga town, we've got some nice views in under Bebe Park, Nyangani Park, and closer to the Troutbeck 10 off. People are building nice holiday homes. And I tell you, as I sit in councils, I'm seeing people applying for change of land use because some of them they bought them as residential and they now want to put a holiday home. So if I see every committee meeting that I set every quarter, I'm having 5 or 6 applications for change of land use. That shows you that people are seeing the business. But we all have the general known ones, the Troutbeck area and the Jidasdale area. There are also other opportunities that are there which people can invest as far as tourism is concerned. There are people who are looking for joint ventures. There are people who are looking for some partnership for investment into building that. And also, I'm very positive that obviously come up with a plan. There are people who are ready to accept and consider some proposals for a bigger and a greater investment. But I can't stop this conversation without telling you that for the year 2024, we have about 6 new big hotels that have been opened up and for business. That shows you the direction
Wow.
of flow and where we are going. I had a conversation with the national parks recently because that's where we normally receive the count or the number of people who are coming to Nyanga. And I tell you, we are having more than 100% increase from 2022 up to 2024 in terms of the numbers of people who are coming. The last statistics for 2024, we are looking at 17,000 plus people who came during the last quarter of the year to see our beautiful Nyanga. So tell me, when these people are coming, they need accommodation. And I tell you, I've experienced this from people who will be calling me personally, that if you want to come to Nyanga certain seasons, you may not find accommodation. So this is an opportunity where you will build a nice, if you're looking at a group setup, people can build nice hotels. They can build nice lodges. They can build some homes which can be available for use during the I'm not trying to remove it during the peak hour because you look here, as we are going, finding investors coming to do conferencing or building some conference units into accommodation, we'll be busy throughout the year, except 1 or 2 months. But ideally, if you're able now to accommodate huge conferences, we'll be busy. And that's what I'm just maybe sharing with you that we are ready and open for some kind of investment. Yeah.
You mentioned that there's a lot of tourists visiting Nyanga. So, out of all these tourists, do you have any rough figures of how many of these are local tourists and how many of these are actually coming into Nyanga from different countries?
I can share some numbers. As of the last quarter of 2024, we had about 3,000 international visitors that were coming from throughout the world, and we also had about 17,000 local tourists that came into our Nyanga Reserve. So by those statistics, you can see actually, this year, last week, I had a meeting with national parks, and the indications were that there were already around 1,000 plus international visitors that had come into our national park, and we are looking at about 8,000, within 7,000 visitors that had come to our local tourists that had come to our national parks. But remember, I'm only giving you figures from the national parks. There are people who come and they don't go to a national park. There are people who want to read
Mm.
books, people want to enjoy the Mutaras Falls and its services there. They don't need to go to the national parks. There are people who wants to come and they go to Troutbeck for a weekend out. They don't go to the national parks. So I'm just giving you those statistics based on the national parks. But we are trying now to have an information center where we at least try to have a tourist information center where we can even try to even record to see how things are. But from the thirst and the hunger of investment, which we have seen people building in Nyanga and investing in Nyanga, and also complemented with the figures that are getting from national parks, we are on the right page.
Okay, so now let's talk about the price of the land. I mean, in the main capital, Harare, of course, we know that the prices may be higher due to competition. So when we talk about Nyanga, I mean, what sort of pricing are we looking at per square meter?
Um, I must be honest with you, with a broader term of investment. There are people who come and they don't even look at the land at the national at the district council, they will just go and buy land with the title deeds from other players. So when you buy land with the title deed, obviously the price per square meter is different when you
Yes.
compare with the buying sessions or buying land or lease, getting lease from council. But the from the council perspective, we are looking at between $4 per square meter to around $15 per square meter, depending whether the nature or the use of the property that you are talking about. If I look at the hotel stand, I was just indicated to you, we are selling at about around, it should be $10 per square meter, between $7 to $10 per square meter. But these things, obviously, like you say, if they go on tender, people will then have the opportunity to make an offer on what they are putting down on they're putting down on the property. But if you're looking at those properties with title deeds, and these are areas where obviously the pricing will be a bit higher, and we are looking at obviously between $15 to $20 per square meter.
Okay. So, as the mayor of Nyanga, do you have any incentives for investors?
Okay, maybe I would say if you're investing in tourism, naturally, if you're applying through the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority, you can actually get some investor incentives. I was at the launch of our Shanganani 2024 Kombana, which is happening in Manicaland, and I asked the same question. And the minister, Madam Honorable Rhodes, clearly indicated that if you are a true investor in tourism, the government is prepared and ready to give you some incentives. As far as obviously you want to bring some equipment, some material, if it's in the tourism sector, as granted. As far as council is concerned, these are done through application. You make your application, and I obviously, if the national government is ready to do such incentives, who are we as council to deny you? But obviously, it goes through it's through the processes of an application, and we will consider that.
Our investors are particularly interested in areas where there is strong government support, clear development plans, and opportunities that make real impact. Are there any plans that the government is making to improve Nyanga, for example, or any other tourist areas?
Obviously, there's room for improvement in many respects, but I'm excited to tell you that obviously the coming to Nyanga is a good third road. The council is doing it also in last year and also the bit of this year. We have been busy trying to put good roads in our tourist attractions areas, like going to the World's View and also some roads around Girasdale where our tourists normally interface. There are areas where I feel the government, through us as the lower tier of government, we are improving. Then you also look at issues in Nyanga where there's been always been the willingness of government licensing. People want to bring hydro electricity in our town, and at council level, we always get these applications approved up there, and we always give that guidance and the leeway as a local authority. So if we now have already two hydropower stations are operating in Nyanga, and so many applications are coming up, or improvement or upgrading from 5 watt going up. Those are things that clearly shows the intentions of our government to improve our town. But more importantly, as you know, some don't want to drive long to come to Nyanga and in Maneka land is large. I'm aware, and you might be aware, the government intention to build an airport which is coming in Mdasa district. That makes everything fantastic, and it will be easier for people then to just fly into to Mdasa, and then maybe for 30 minutes or so, they are already having the beautiful views from Nyangani Mountain, beautiful views from the world's view, and interacting with nature at various levels. So those are also the government direct interventions to support our tourist sector. And as I speak to you, Nyanga is a tourist town. We are now a sister town to Musanze, which is in Rwanda. That is the indication that the government, through its relationship with Rwanda, they're also trying to push these sister town agreements where we get to learn what's happening in Rwanda and put it down in Nyanga, and that's is a huge step in terms of foreign engagements, plus also building our own Nyanga to become the world-class tourist that we want to be attraction. Okay, if the cool weather in Nyanga is not exciting to you, let me now add more. We have got a very thriving timber industry, but we don't have a value addition industry or value addition companies that are set up in Nyanga. We are transporting logs from Nyanga to Harare or everywhere. But why can't you then come, you, with your money, you invest in a factory which is going to manufacture the beds or manufacture tables or whatever for the whole nation or even exporting. Now we have reduced the cost of transporting the raw material. And we are saying if you are able to then come and build that in Nyanga, I've just given you a few examples of things that can be done with the timber. But you guys, I think you know that we have got so much construction happening in the country. Where are people buying those boards for their wardrobes and kitchen? Are we not able to create value and now have those sawdust made into some balls or created to put some balls? And these things are happening in Nyanga. And we are simply saying now we have the water and with the power systems that we have in Nyanga, which is quite good. So why can't you then set up a factory that can, add value to our raw materials, and then we start to go out. Let's talk about our apples that we have in Nyanga. Yes, we have got apple ciders coming up from our own Nyanga, but I'm saying, are they the only byproducts that can come from apples? Why are we not having people who are able to come and then say, okay, you guys have these apples and peaches? There's some time where my heart actually was bleeding. We have got so much peaches that we couldn't have people who can then they take those peaches and put them into other refined products. So I'm simply saying there are opportunities where we can have use of our local given resources or things that we are producing in Yanga, where people can then build equipment. Those we are really keen into manufacturing. That's an opportunity which they can come and they make our Nyanga great. Then we are able to bring or to increase our GDP as Nyanga, and also you getting a return of investment as an individual. Then I spoke about accommodation, but you also need to consider that people are going to Vic Falls and they're enjoying it, Boma. We need such kind of restaurant in Nyanga. We need people who are able to come and say, okay, you guys, I want to build a very, very unique restaurant up there on the mountain, or by those falls, or by this, because we have such kind of scenic environment. So you are in the catering industry, you are, or you want to invest in the catering industry. Come, we have the opportunity for you in Nyanga, and things will be well with you. I spoken about mining, which is also another opportunity that you can come in. We've got mining activities happening, especially on the Nyanga North side, where you can actually do your gold mining, and lithium is also on that part of the district. So you can also come in. But I know now people talk about solar energy. And I've told you that Nyanga, we've got all the climatic regions, the 5-6 part of it, which is also in the beautiful side of Nyanga North. Come and set up a solar plant and give us the energy. So there is the opportunity that we have in Nyanga.
Mayor, thank you so much for taking your time out to speak to us and the diaspora community. I truly appreciate your insights. I look forward to seeing how we can build something that benefits both Nyanga and also our investors. I look forward to seeing how we can build something that benefits both Nyanga and also our investors. Thank you again. See you soon.